ਵਿਚਾਰਾਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ about the creation ਆਪਾਂ ਐਂਡ ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਮਾਇਆ ਦਾ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੇ what 3 ways we can try and get through and defeat and get past Maya and go beyond that to realize Vaheguru. So 3 ਤਰੀਕੇ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਸੀਗੇ? What were those 3 ਤਰੀਕੇ? To the different types of Maya. So chalo main yaad kara den different types of Maya. One is the dirt, the filth. How do we clean the filth? Haji? How do we clean the filth of Maya? Not.
It depends on what group you're in, right?
Yeah, so filth is by seva. The wandering mind is settled by Simran, and the curtain, the veils of Maya is by Ardasa and Guru Di Kirpa, so we get divine knowledge. Okay, so we picked that up yesterday. Obviously you guys didn't obviously remember that. The last 2 groups all did, so thank you very much. That tells me a lot already. Today these are the questions we're going to reflect on. Okay, so it continues from yesterday. So knowing all of that and how our karam work and what we were talking about yesterday of that cycle of how we break through the karam using those nishkam aspects. So today, so what do we need to do? We need to become one with Vaheguru. Sare kende Atma andara. So where is it inside? Where in this body is the Atma? So to do that, we need to understand what the makeup of our bodies are. Kidna de bane hai. How does Maya blind us? So I'm going to talk a little bit about Maya's parda. We talked about the 3 aspects. We're going to focus on one of those today. What helps us to realize Vaheguru and what steps should be taken to become one with Vaheguru. And that's what we're going to finish off and go away with. So we're going to start off with our body, okay? Because the Vaheguru is within this body somewhere. So we need to discuss what the body's like and what is the body like, okay? So Manukhi Jeev, the human form, is created with 3 bodies, if you will, 3 layers, okay? You have a layer which is called the Karan Srir, the internal one, which is the cause body. Karan is the cause, the reason why we're here. Now the ultimate reason is Vaheguru's hukam. Hanji? But with that, Vaheguru's hukam, Maya was created. We said that, the illusion. And so it's made up of avidya. Avidya is another name for Maya. So I'm going to throw in these words because you might come across these in the future. You might have heard of them now. It'll just give you the idea. Avidya. Vidya means knowledge. Avidya means no knowledge. Okay? No knowledge is to be blinded by Maya. So the non-realization of Vaheguru, unu kande Vidya. Karan Srir, the innermost body, is made like that. Then we have something called the Sukham Srir. Sukham means small. It's got 17 parts to that body. 17 parts. Okay, Sukham Srir. Now that's the kind of body, jida aapa kende like a spirit or a ghost, jida hath nang janda ode vichon. It's like the spirit of the person. Some people say the soul, but the soul is further than that. So that is called a Sukham Srir. Okay? And then with this body, this 3rd layer is called the Asthul. Asthul means large. So that's what this is. Large outer body. And that's made up of those Panch Tats that we had yesterday. So you didn't get the last question. So let's see if you get this one. What are the Panch Tats? What did you say, sorry? Earth, 1. Water, fire, air, Akash, space, okay, or ether. 5 that's good. So we're into it now, Hannah. So all of those are only alive and living if Vaheguru's Jyot is existent within them. And that's the same for creation. It'll only be existent if Vaheguru's Jyot is existing within them. If Je Vaheguru di Jyot nahi hege, it's finished. Je Vaheguru abdi Jyot khich le, everything will just finish. Okay? So there are those 3 layers of the body. And Vaheguru's Jyot is within those somewhere. So let's see where Vaheguru's Jyot is, and then we're going to move on to how to realize. So first let's contemplate and reflect on the Asthul Srir. Is Vaheguru's Jyot out here in this body? Okay, so to do that we need to understand how the Asthul Srir is made up and link it to the Tats. Vaheguru's Jyot isn't here. If it was, we'd find God already, because this is the one we realize, we touch, feel, see. Yes? So how's this made up, and how's the Panch Tat make this up? So it's made up of a mixture of the 5 Tats separate and each of the other Tats. So I'll show you what that means. Now, if you listen sometimes in Kathas, they use the word Panch Prakirti da Srir. Sorry, not Panch, Pachi Prakirti da Srir. That's 25 Prakirti. Prakirti means parts. Okay? So this is how you get 25 out of 5. Because we say it's made of Panch Tat. they also use the word 25. So how do you get 5 and 25? This is how you get it. So imagine this is one tat. Okay? So this is water, let's say. So you split that in half. Obviously I'm tearing it, it's not exactly half, but just imagine that's half. There's your 50%. Yep. And then I've got this piece left, and with this piece, I'm going to split this in half again, which will make what's each of these pieces worth is?
25.
What's that worth now? 25 and 25. And then I split them again to get 4 pieces. And each of those 4 pieces, if it's 25 split down the middle, and you've 2 lots of those, you've got 12.5, haven't you? So you've got water, 50, and 12.5, 4 lots of water. Okay? You do that with every single tat. So you do it with water, fire, ether, air, earth. And then this is what they do. So they take one tat, the major tat, let's just say water, for instance. Then you take a small piece, because everybody's got a small piece as well, haven't they? From fire, from ether, from air, from earth. So these small ones are one from every other one. Okay? One from every other one. And this big one's the other one, because there's no point me bringing a small water, because I've already got water, haven't I? Hanji? So how many pieces are in that? 5. And I'm going to do that another 5 times with each one. And what's 5 times 5? And that's how you make pachi prakirti. And that's the word they use. Vidwans use with the panchtat, pachi prakirti. Okay? And this is how it works, if you're interested. So this isn't in Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji now what I'm going to tell you. This is what scholars have researched. Okay? And different scholars have slight differences. I'm just going to show you this version, and then it'll just give you an idea of how this read works. So, if you take earth, Tarti as the major tat, the 50% one, that goes into our bones. And then around that, the other 4, water goes into flesh, fire into our arteries, air into our skin, ether into our hair. Then if you take ether space as our major tat, that goes into our head. The other 4, earth goes into our back, water in our stomach, fire is the heat in the stomach, and air is in the throat. Now heat in the stomach. When we get angry with somebody, does anybody feel a burning sensation in the stomach? You feel that, don't you? Because you have fire there. Otherwise, why would it burn? That burning is from that fire. And when we have air comes through and through our throat, so maybe that's why air is in this area here, because we use that to breathe, don't we? Then if we take air as our major tat, 50% one, that is used as energy to run. The other 4 are such that earth is energy to go small, maybe curl up in bed. Water is the energy to grow. So a vichar is 70% of our body is made up of water. And if we don't drink water, we will die. And maybe from a child to adulthood, that water is helping our body grow. And then fire is the energy to leap or jump. Ether is the energy to spread or stretch or elasticate yourself. Okay? And then fire is the feeling of hunger, when that's the major tat. We feel that, don't we, in our stomach. The other 4 is earth is the feeling of tiredness. Water is beauty. So beauty, so let's reflect on that a little bit. Most people use moisturizers, creams on their face. What are they doing? So wrinkles don't come. Yeah? And smooth skin is classed as beauty, isn't it? Does that make sense? But if you drink lots of water, you won't get wrinkles anyway, because water and moisturizer, what is that doing? Hydrating, isn't it? Moisturizer hydrates, water hydrates. So water is linked to this aspect of beauty, i.e. no wrinkles, smoothness. Okay? Air is the feeling of thirst, and ether is the energy to sleep. And then the final is when water, that's the procreative fluid used to reproduce, which is present in males, and females have their version of that. And the other 4, earth is in the blood, fire is in the procreative heat. We know we need in the mother's womb there is heat. You need heat to cause a reaction to reproduce. Air is in the sweat, and ether is saliva. So that is how the 5 tats are broken into 25 pachi prakirtiyan, and that's how our body is made. Okay, that's the stool sharir, this outer body. The jot utthe nahi hegi, because we learnt yesterday that jehde 5 tat ne, ye ta maya de bane hoye. That's from maya. So how can the jot be there? Can it? and that's all that's been used to make this body. So jyot ithi nahi hegi. So then we move further inner, the Sukham Sarir, inner body, beyond the Asthul Sarir. Utthe jyot vasdiya is the jyot in the spirit. Some people believe that's the jyot, that's the divine light, but that's just the spirit of the person. Or when I speak to little kids, I use the term ghost, and your hand goes through the ghost and that kind of thing. You know, that kind of form? That's the spirit or the Sukham Sarir. That has 17 parts. Ek man, which is our thought process, jithe aapa think karde hain. Buddh, which is our intellect. Changi buddhi hove kehande bahut syana. Buddhi parist hogi hove, they say eh pagal ho gaya, mada socha hai na, madi soch hai di. Yeah? They use that term, don't they? Now, in the Western world, the mind is both of these plus two more other things put together. But in Gurbani, it separates our mind or our hirda into 4 parts. 2 of them are these: mind itself, man, and buddh. Okay? The thought process is separate to the decision-making process. Whereas in England, in the Western word of mind, it joins them together. Okay? But here are separate cheezaं. ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਗਿਆਨ ਇੰਦਰੇ. So ਗਿਆਨ ਇੰਦਰੇ are our ears, skin, eyes, tongue and nose, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ knowledge ਆਉਂਦੀ ਆ. Like in the Western world, we say 5 sense of touch, sense of hearing, sense of sight, sense of smell, the sense of taste. Hanji? But we need these 5 to take that knowledge, that gyan of the information that we receive. So we know panj gyan indre. Then we have karam indre. Indre means sense. Gyan was the knowledge, and karam is action senses. There's 5 of those. Mouth, hands come in a pair, so it's counted as 1. Feet come in a pair, so it's counted as 1. The front and back, you'll understand, you're adults. Procreative organ and eliminative organ. Okay, so you'll understand what those are. O panjone. And that makes 12 at the moment. And the last 5 are, so before I go on to the last 5 actually, let's see how these link to the tats as well. So Panj Tat and the Panj Vishay, I mentioned 5 Vishay yesterday along with the tat. They're called the small tats, Sukham Tat, Sabad, Sapara, Saroop, Ras, Gandha. I put them in English here so you know what I mean. So ether is linked to sound, Sabad, and that is linked to our ears and our mouth. That makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah? So ether exists in our ears and in our mouth, but sound is used by our mouth and our ears. Then we have air. We need air to have that friction to be able to feel that touch. So that's why they're paired together. And they are linked with our hands and our skin. That's what we touch with, don't we? That makes sense as well. Then we have fire and form. So form, we need our eyes to see a form, but that's linked to our feet. I've written feet there. That doesn't make sense. That S should not be there, should it? Feet. Okay. So how do our feet link to our eyes, link to our form? So form and eyes kind of make sense, don't they? We see a form. Saroop this is that with our eyes. Ak sometimes burns. Have you ever had that sensation with your eyes burning? So that kind of makes sense as well. But how are feet linked to that? Anybody got any idea? Why would feet be linked to form and eyes and sight? So I wear glasses, huh? And what's the glasses doing? Helping me see. They're magnifying everything, aren't they? So if I take these off, you're all going to look the same to me. So what am I going to do now to tell me who's the difference between you two? I'm going to go closer. What am I going to use to go closer? My feet. So the feet are linked to the form, okay? Because we use it to magnify and change position, okay? Water and taste are linked to our tongue and the front procreative organ, and the nose is linked to the earth and odor, bad smells, and the eliminative organ, and they kind of make sense as well. So that's how they link. So that was just an extra piece, but we still only got 12 of these. 5, 10, 1, 2, 12, and Sukham Sarir is made by 17. So the other 5 are called Panj Pran. Pran is a life energy. So when we Punjabi we say pran ede nikal gaya. Jadon koi marda hai, when somebody dies, pran nikal gaye de. They're the life energies. Now we associate them generally with breath, but air is different to pran, okay? Because air is one of these tats, isn't it? So pran is like a life energy, and they exist in 5 different places around our body, and in those places there are 5 different names, and hence there are 5 of them. So pran themselves in our hirda. Now hirda in English translations, you will think is what is hirda? chest, or some people translate it to mean heart. If you look on those translations, it'll say heart. Hirda isn't necessarily the heart. Well, it isn't the heart. I'll come to that in a minute, what it is. Apan is in the gala, the neck. Saman is in the nabi, the navel, belly button area. Udayan, these are the different names of the Panch Pran, is in the kant, which is around the throat area, and Byan is in all our body. Okay, so those 5 different places and 5 types of pran with those different names make the Panch Pran, and if I add those up, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, they make the Sukham Srir, which is that spirit body, or ghost body, as I say to younger people, so they understand that. Okay, spirit body, the Sukham Srir. The Sukham Srir is made up of with these Panch Tats as well then, aren't they? So that can't be the Jyotan either, because we already know those Panch Tat are linked to Maya, and Maya isn't God, is it? So if we go further, and let's test out this Karan Srir. Karan sounds like it could be God, the reason, and ultimately God is the reason for everything. But that is made up of avidya. And I already mentioned that vidya is another name for Maya. Avidya, vidya knowledge, avidya no knowledge. The non-realization of Vaheguru is avidya, and that is because we're in an illusion. And the illusion is Maya. Everything that's temporary, everything that's material. So therefore, that can't be Vaheguru's Jyot, the third body, because that is Maya as well. Avidya is no knowledge, and which is an illusion, which is Maya. So God isn't there. So where is God? Where is the Jyot? The Jyot is even beyond that point. Okay, itto vi pareya, the Jyot. Now it doesn't necessarily mean you work inwards. It's working beyond each of these. Okay? And through Naam, as I said yesterday, Nishkam, Simran, we will be able to find Vaheguru. Around that helps us is the Ardas and the Nishkam Seva. Okay? And to do that, we will go beyond our Hirda, which people say it's the chest. Some people say it's the heart, which is not. Some people say it's the chest. The reason they say the chest is our Hirda, because scholars have decided that one of the chakras of our body, which is called the Hirda chakra, is in the chest. So if the Hirda chakra is in the chest, therefore the Hirda is in the chest. Actually, nobody knows. That's the fact. Nobody knows. Okay? Because in the Hirda, there are 4 parts to the Hirda. The Man, which is our thought process. The Buddh, which I've talked about as well, is the decision-making process, our intellect, but also our Chit. जिथे आप चेते करते हैं चेते की करते हैं what do we use our memory हाँ जी memory ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ experiences ਉਹ ਚੇਤੇ ਕਰਦੇ हैं ਤੇ finally hankar which is ego hangta haume that also exists. So those 4 make up our hirda, and in the Western world we call that all those 4 things our mind. So when they say mind in the Western world, in the Western sense, it means all 4 of these. In Gurbani separates all 4 out. Okay? Man is just thoughts, Buddh is just intellect, Chit is memory, and Hankar is Hankta, Home, ego, me, myself, and I, just that Hankta of the being. Okay? So how do these work? This is how they work. So, I'll give you a little silly example. Okay? Somebody's told me that they're going to make me pizzas today. Okay? So what's happened there? My memory, Chit, is saying pizza banne hai. I don't think they are, to be honest with you, but I'm just giving you an example. Okay? My memory is saying you like pizzas. And the you is coming from my hankar, because it's all about me. It's not about anybody else, it's all about me, isn't it? You like pizzas because you've had them before, and tenu swad lagde hai. So I start thinking about it. Mere man ch beh gayi gal, I'm just thinking about the pizzas. Then my buddhi is vicharing, you know, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮਿਰਚਾਂ ਪਾ ਦੇਣੀਆਂ, because I know ਦਾਲ ਸਬਜ਼ੀ 'ਚ ਮਿਰਚ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਹਨਾ, ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮਿਰਚਾਂ ਚੰਗੀਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦੀਆਂ. So my buddhi is saying to me, pizza ਤਾਂ ਬਣਨੇ ਆ, because my memory said it's good. My hankar is saying you love them. My mind is thinking about it, but my buddhi is saying ਤੂੰ ਰਹਿਣ ਦੇ, ਮਿਰਚ ਸਾੜ ਕਰਨ ਪਾਉਣਗੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ, you'll get, you know, indigestion with mirch. You don't eat a lot of mirch. Leave it. But my hankar is telling me it doesn't matter about the mirch, because your memory is telling you that pizza bahut swad hunde a. And all this, my mind is contemplating over. Does that make sense? So little things like that, that's how all these four work. The true controller of these is our ego. Eh, sareyan de upar baitha. And they're all interacting with each other in every situation that we're in. So when we say your mind, in Western sense, it doesn't just mean this, it means all four together. Okay? And we have to conquer those. Tahi kehinde Gurbani ch hirday naam vasaye ho, ghar baithe guru te aaye ho. Hirday vich vasauna naam in all of these, because this is what's taken us away, and then using all those other sareers that I've talked about, yeah? Everything develops from there outwards. This does actions, this does actions, this is avidya, all because of these four, which are holding us away from realizing Vaheguru. So, ede vich naam takona, then ghar baithe guru te aayo, ghar, this body is the home of the Jyot. Ithe, we want to find naam. Okay? So, how do we go through those? Okay? And then further to that, I'm going to give you some information, because somebody asked me a question about the parde of the curtains, the veils. Maya de parde. How do we get blinded? So I talked a little bit about the filth yesterday. That was with the karams. When I gave the karam example, that's the filth of Maya. And the chanchalta of Maya, our wandering mind, is stopped through Simran, Nishkam Simran, which puts that taka. But how do we remove the veils? We need Guru Di Kirpa. But what are those veils? They say there are 5 veils or sheaths, or I just say curtains because it's easy to understand. But if you kind of use these words, there's sometimes when you might find them written like this. But udda ta kehne ne panj kosh. Panj kosh. Okay? So there are 5 of those. Now the question you might ask me, if you're really interested, are they one on top of each other like this? They are, but they also intertwined with each other, so they interact with each other as well. Okay? So there are layers. One is worse than the other one. One is closer. One is like the last one. But they still can also interact, and we can go through all simultaneously. Okay? So I'll give you a quick example. Obviously, this isn't Vaheguru's Jyot, but let's say if it was, you'd have 1, you'd have 2, you'd have 3, 4, 5, but they'd all interact with each other. Okay? So what are they? The first one is called Annamay Kosh. Hon thonu pada hoga ann pani, ann atta, prasada, roti, food nu kehinde a ann. Yes? So the first one is the want of food to stay alive and to keep our physical body. Just like that in my mind is saying, pizze shakne a. Yeah? Minu swad bahut lagde a. Meri memory dasde a minu. Yeah? Buddhi kehinde tu pehla utthe pahunch jana a. Really, I'm falling very quickly. I'm already blinded by the first veil, by the first kosh. Because all I'm worried about is food. Why? To stay alive. Which is the second one? Pranamay kosh. Pran was that life energy. Jida pa kiya si pran nikal gaye, he's dead or she's dead. But that kosh, that parda is the wanting to stay alive. And so it interacts with this one to give ourselves food and supplies to stay alive, or to do anything we need to do to stay alive. Okay? In the animal kingdom, it's kill or be killed. Yeah? Because they're being blinded by this. They want to stay alive. They don't want to be killed. They don't just sacrifice themselves. They want to stay alive. Okay? The third one, kehinde manmay kosh. Now manmay kosh comes up is with 5 karamindre plus the man itself. Karamindre, can you remember what those karamindre were? Kere sigi karamindre panj. What we do our actions with. 5 things that we do our physical actions. Hands, feet, not eyes, it's 2, mouth, 3, front and back. Hanji, 5 ho gaye. And our man. Kar log jade inna naal paap kamaunde a. Man keh denda paap kama, te eh panja naal fir we do things, oh paap hunda. Muh naal chugli karni. Galt kam karne, you can understand with our reproductive organs. Hath naal chori karni. Pair naal utthe jana. You understand? So ehe manmay kosh hai parda. This stops us from reaching Vaheguru. Eh maya da parda. Then we have something called Vigyanmay kosh. Now this word gyan comes up a lot. And sometimes it can mean this could be a good thing, gyan. But gyan is just knowledge. Te Sikhi de vich gyan nahi hega kalla. Bhagat sahat gyana. Bhakti jaruriya. Gyanata is just information to allow us to do bhakti. Gyan is not the be, knowledge is not the be all and end all. Okay? Vigyan mein kosh is knowledge gained through our 5 Gyan Indre. What were our 5 Gyan Indre? Can you remember those? Eyes, ears, nose, skin, and mouth or tongue, wasn't it? It was one of that area, Hannah, which uses our 5 senses that we say. And our buddhi is our decision maker, which makes the decision to use those. But even they are influenced by Maya, so they're not divine. Our buddhi is not divine. We've already seen how it's been made. So it can't be Vaheguru's Jyot. And then finally, we have something called Anandamay Kosh. Hon Anand sounds like a really good word. Anand aa gaya. पर जिस तरह मैं कल भी थोनू बेनती की थी हुण भी मैं थोनू करदा गुरु साहिब आप ही जवाब दिंदे आ गुरु साहिब told us this morning भी बेअंत भगती वाले होए आ दुनिया ते didn't they tell us that हुक्मनामे च शिव जी हो गया ओदे ब्रह्मे दे 4 पुत्र हो गए इंद्र हो गया शेषनाग हो गया इन्हां ने सारी नाम जपिया भगती कीती आ मे बी probably not though because I can believe इत्थे चंगी चंगी तकड़ियां रूहां बैठियां होणगियां पुरातन. But let's just say somebody like myself and people like me, if there was 100 of me sat here, they've done a lot more than all of 100 million times over. But what did Bhagat Kabir ji say? Fear me, Guru da ant paya, Vaheguru de ped nahi paya. They're not one with God, are they? Why? Because they have ego. Hana? And Anandamay Kosh is having some bliss, but still having ego. Jida o sige. So even though they are closer, possibly, they still got Maya da parda hai ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੇ because ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੰਕਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਿਆ. Okay? ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੰਕਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਿਆ. And we are here to go through these 4 to get beyond those where the Jyot is to become one with Vaheguru. So for the last 2 days, I talked a lot. I gave you a lot of information. And really, if I tell you the honest truth, the information is a waste of time. The information is a waste of time. Because the only truth is Guruji's message. This is because these guys called me over here and they got high standard. And they kept giving me these high standards that you got to do this, you got to do that. And I thought, if I turn up here and I just say 1 or 2 things, and then again, let me time waste, plain, come in here, what's the point? I've got to obviously do a little bit and give you some information which makes it sound kind of interesting, kind of, this is new, this is good. But it's all a waste of time. Seriously, it's a waste of time. Fair I need that. And if my Mustad was here, and he'd say, what are you telling all this stuff for? The time waste here. They would tell me that. I wouldn't show this in front of them. Because ultimately, when I was reflecting, then ultimately, मैं सोचा भी थोनू दसूंगा की. And I already knew what I was going to tell you and share because I wasn't sharing it with you, I was sharing it with myself. But I had to backfill all of this for the last 2 days. So here is the real message. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji goes to Sri Lanka. Uthe kehndे Sangladeep, it used to be called. Uthe ਇੱਕ king ਸੀ Shivnab. Shivnab was a king ਤੇ ਉਹ ਹੱਠ ਯੋਗ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੀ. Yoga. The actual meaning of yoga is to join with God. That's what yoga means, the word. When they use it for exercise, actually it's worship. All those positions are different forms of worship. Hard jog. And the reason why it's hard, or hard karde si, stay in many hours in one position. So I'll give you a very simple one. Stand on one leg. Now I'm already out of balance and I'm moving about. They would stand in that position for many hours and force their mind, the urges of their mind, like I was saying, my man kehda udhar jaake pize shak kiya, they'd force themselves not to do anything. Hat karde si. And Shivnab was the king of that country, and they would all do that. He'd make the whole country follow his religion. But onu shanti nahi aayi. He couldn't find the Jyot. And so aradhana karda si. बहुत बड़ी साखी है. We haven't got the time to go through it, but anyway, Guru Nanak Sahib ji uthe pahunch gaye. When they went there and he starts having his discussion, he says, Maharaj, tell me how to get Brahm Gyan, how to become one with God. Maharaj goes, you do Hat Yog. You're not going to get anywhere with that. He goes, Minu sokha tarika do. Maharaj goes, I'll show you the quickest, the easiest, and the best way to get to God. Very simple. And Guru si go, enu kehndे आ Bhagat Yog. ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਗਿਆਨ knowledge is good but it's a waste of time without bhakti. Bhagat Sahat Gyan, that is our marg of Sikhi. Knowledge is good, it sounds interesting, it's a waste of time. Bhakti jaruriya, then the Gyan is illuminated because it makes sense then of why we're doing things. Okay, So Guru Sahib Ji told him Bhagat Jog, and he used his words, Hatha Jog this, and explained, instead of doing Hatha Jog, you do this. And the first is called Yam. And Yam is translated literally to rokna, to stop, or to put effort in. So jida main thonu dasda si, they'd sit in those different positions or stand in different positions. That's with a lot of effort, isn't it? To try and stop their mind. Stop their body moving in different places. Hanji, Guru Nanak Sahib Ji, apan vi yam karde hain. So when they're teaching Shivnab, they're teaching all of us, me included, this is how you do yam. You man niva rakhna and stay humble in your qualities. We know sareyan de vich qualities are. Everybody knows. I know what my qualities are. That might sound very egotistical, and it probably is, but minu pata hai. Just like you, each and every one of you know what you're good at. Whether you admit to it, whether you say it, you know what they are. Everybody has qualities, right? But Maharaj kehinde hai, we don't get ego over those. Accept them. Realize what you've got, what you're capable of, but accept them as Vaheguru's data. And if you accept them, Vaheguru ne dittiyan ne, then you will stay humble. At the same time as doing that nishkam seva that I told you about. So when you wash dishes, it makes you humble. When you clean shoes, it makes you humble. Okay? E raya sikhanda. So we need to stay humble. E yamma. So Maharaj said to Shivnab, this is what you're going to have to do. Second, they told Shivnab about his name. Name da matlab hunda nijam, or a routine. Hun Sikhs nu jehde Amritari a, they have a routine. Svere uth ke ishnan karde a, minimum. Kakaran di dharni ne, panj gurbani nitne like we do, Rahra Sahib Kirtan Sola Sham te raat nu karde a. That's a nijam, a name, a nitname. But Guru Sahib Ji said extra to that, Shivnab, daily do sat sangat. Te Guru Granth Sahib Ji ne sanu aj svere ki dassya si Bhagat Ji de rahi. Je Rab nu milna, sant sangat. That's how you get it, don't you? Te ohi Shivnab nu Guru Nanak Sahib dasde si. So, what is sat sangat? Sat sangat is going to the Gurdwara in this day and age, daily, listening to katha and kirtan. And if you can do kirtan, you do it. If you can't, don't get the opportunity to listen to katha, you read it. You read up the earth. Okay? That's what they told Shivnab to do. So Shivnab creates dharamsals, gurdware all over Sri Lanka for this to happen. In the time of Guru Ramdas Sahib Ji, ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਲੰਗਰ ਚਲਾਇਆ, they used to use 7 man of loon, of salt in the langar. Man, I think, is around 3 kilograms. Now in a dal sabji, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ how much, ਬੀਬੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਊਗਾ. I know as well because I can cook, but that's just an extra bit of ego, one of my qualities. How much noon do you put in a small family, 4 or 5 people, of dal sabji? How much noon do you put in? ਤੂੰ ਬੀਬੀ ਆ? ਮੈਂ ਬੀਬੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਸੀ. Sorry, ਕੋ ਤੂੰ ਹੀ ਦੱਸ ਦੇ. Karchi ਪਾਉਣੀ ਆ? 1 big karchi? No, you don't put karchi in, do you? What do you put in? That's it. That's all you need to do. 1 to 1.5, 1 to 2, some people say tablespoons, that's it. Now, that is nowhere near 1 kilogram, let alone 3 kilograms. Times that by 7 man, that's how many people, 6 used to go to Guru Ramdas Sahib Ji's langar. Okay? Now when Shivnab started this off in Sri Lanka after Guru Nanak Sahib Ji blessed him, now I'm not comparing him to Guru Ramdas Sahib Ji because Guru Ramdas Sahib Ji is God. I'm using this comparison to tell you how many Sikhs were there at the time. Okay? He would use 21 man of salt. So you imagine how many people he's feeding. That's what he created, a dharamshala, to do sat sangat every day, and then he would feed them all there as well. Okay? Ekant Des. These yogis goes to run in the jungles for a quiet place. We have been given or blessed with the highest form of Gristi Jivan. Live in the world and be udas, be a baragi within the world. Stay separate from Maya within the world, within your daily life. And Guru Sahib Ji said to Shivnab, you're a king, you can't run away to the jungle. If you want to do Hatha Yoga properly, you're going to have to go to the jungle. But you can't do that. So you live in the world. So what you're going to do is Gurmat da ekad de, see Vaheguru in everybody, in each and every place, and decrease your mind's desires. We all have urges and desires. I am giving you examples of food. I've got urges of food I want to eat. I haven't gone to the langar bibi and said, "Minu avi bana do, minu avi bana do, minu avi bana do." I'm getting those urges, but I'm practicing by saying, "No, I'm not going to." That urge, I'm stopping it, aren't I? Now, if you want something from me, let's say you want me to pass you this, ask me. You stop straight away. Why did you stop?
You looked away.
I looked away. So he's very clever. He did it very quickly. Sometimes you keep asking, "Minu farade," and I can just turn my back. What are you going to do very quick? You did it very quick. What did you do?
I stopped talking.
Because you think waste of time, isn't it?
I guess so.
That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
So ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮਨ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਆ ਵੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆ ਵੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆ ਤੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆ, if you say to your man no, even better than saying no, because I didn't say no to you, what did I do? I ignored you. Ignore it. Stop the urges. I've just showed you from the previous slides, just like this hand which would have passed it to you, which is part of my body. What is the man? Part of my body. If you ignore your man, there will come a time where it will just stop. Because just like he's got bored with asking me very quickly, though I like that, that tells me your mind is strong. You can stop a lot of things. Okay? Your man will stop. For some people, it might be a day. For some people, it might be a year. I'm not going to promise you how long it'll take, but it will stop. It just depends what our actions are like that we brought with us, what I showed you yesterday. It will stop, though. It will stop. What you have to do, or what we all have to do, is practice it. It's very easy to fall to an urge. We don't practice it. Do we? Let's be honest, we don't practice stopping urges, do we? Ji kita, karta. I want to go on the computer. I go to the computer, turn it on, play the games. Even for things, I know people, good Chardi Galal is sick, that practice this. So as soon as an urge comes in, even if it's men news, khabar dekhna, and it might be just a normal thing, they'll just ignore it and won't do it. Because they're treating, jada kutte nu train karida na kutte nu. Even though you're going to feed a kutta, but you train a dog, if you've got a dog in different ways, you do it on purpose. These Sikhs, Chardi Galale, they do it to their mind on purpose. Fir jada kutta manna hai na, eh sheti hat janda hai. It just stops. You got to practice it. Okay? So inu kehande a kaant des gurmat ansar. And then asan. So jeri jogi hundi si, they have a special seat, an asana, and they'd sit. And you might have seen pictures of previous people sitting on lions and stuff like that. You might have seen that. They usually sat on the khal of lions, because when they went into the jungles, there's animals there, like there's bears here, yeah? And those bears might attack the person who sat there doing bhakti, or these yoga who stood there, because they're not going to move from that position. So they would do it on the skin of a lion or a sher, because those animals would be scared of that. They wouldn't even come near the person. There was no speciality behind it. It was just a simple, common sense, practical thing they would do. Some of the which we think, what would the reason behind all of these things? There must have been some special shakti from that. No, it was just to scare all the other animals away. So they would sit in an asana. Sada asana ki hai? Vaheguru de naam de vich baithna aapa. Vaheguru de shabad de vich baithna. This is sada asana. Because we're living in the world. So with every step, you all guys know all of this. Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. The clock is ticking. Tick tock. Vaheguru, Vaheguru. Tabla vajda. Vaheguru, Vaheguru. Anything and everything. Vaheguru, Vaheguru. I'm going to share a little story with you. ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਕੈਂਪ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਇੰਗਲੈਂਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 1 year we got on this, ਆਪਾਂ ਸੇਵਾਦਾਰ got on this kind of vibe that ਆਪਾਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਕਰਾਉਣਾ constantly. So we'd randomly, when we walk into the bar, just stop, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ, everybody just has to do it. We made the kids do it. Betna, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ, randomly, every so often, any sevadar do it, everybody has to do it. And it got so much that we're doing it a lot in the day. So ਰਾਤ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਵੇਲੇ ਜਗਾਉਣਾ to get them ready for the divan. When we used to go to the kids, this is a fact. Everybody, every kid, some kids we would just touch, api vaheguru vaheguru shuru ho janda si, because they were doing it all through the day. Now whether they were doing it out of fear, they just start doing it. They're still asleep or half asleep, not waking up, they just start doing it. And some kids we wouldn't even have to touch. We'd go to their rooms and you sleep talk, they were just doing vaheguru vaheguru. Why was that? Because they practiced it. They sat in that throughout the day and naturally became part of their sleep. And that's all we have to do. But we don't do it because the mind's urges take us away. We have to do it. if we want to become one with Waheguru. Fir ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਹੁੰਦਾ pranayam. So those of you that do yoga and do breathing exercises, you'll know about this. The pranayam is the way of breathing, and they have three parts. Purak, breathe in. Kumbhak, hold your breath. They breathe in for so many seconds. They hold their breath for so many seconds. Kumbhak and Rechak, they breathe out. And Guru Nanak Sahib ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਰਨਾ. This is what we're going to do. They go, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਆ Purak, take that in. Then hold it in. Don't hear it in one ear and send it out the other. ਜੇ ਕੋ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕੇਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੱਟਨੇ, hold it, ਕੇਸ ਕੱਟਨੇ ਨਹੀਂ. ਜੇ ਕੋ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਵੇਲੇ ਉੱਠਣਾ, ਫਿਰ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਵੇਲੇ ਉੱਠਣਾ. ਜੇ ਕੋ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਇੰਨਾ ਨਿਤਨੇਮ ਕਰਨਾ, ਇੰਨੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਨੀ, then you do it. Hold it in. Keep it with you when you get a teaching. ਜਦੋਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਹੁਕਮਨਾਮਾ ਆਉਂਦਾ, you do it. ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, whatever they tell us, you do it. And then what do we breathe out? Rechak is ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਾੜੇ actions that we do daily, ਉਹ ਛੱਡ ਦਿਓ. ਉਹ ਛੱਡ ਦਿਓ. ਜੇ ਝੂਠ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਆ, ਗਾਲਾਂ ਕੱਢਦੇ ਆ, ਚੁਗਲੀਆਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਸ਼ਰਾਬਾਂ ਪੀਂਦੇ ਆ, whatever we do, leave it. So ਹੁਣ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੈਂਪ ਤੇ, we're at this retreat. You've come here, you've had a good time, I suppose. ਸੰਗਤ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਆ, ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਗਏ ਆ. But really, what are we here for? If you're not here to become one with Waheguru, then you're wasting your time. ਫਿਰ ਤਾਂ ਘਰੇ ਹੀ ਪੈਸੇ ਬਚਾ ਕੇ ਘਰੇ ਬਹਿਦੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ. Enjoy yourself in a different way. You might have enjoyed yourself, satsangat, everything, but really, are you here to become one with God, ultimately long-term gain? If you are, then you should be thinking, hey, opportunity hai. Sanu sikhya mili hai. You might have heard things that you already know, and you might not have learned anything new. Or you might have learned something new. So aapa sochiye, aapa ek cheez, jo sikhya lai hai, that have come into this ear, we hold it. Ek cheez apani aapa badalni hai, kat to kat. Some of you will be better than that and be able to do more changes. But say, I've heard I've heard loads of teachings, but I'm prioritizing one, and that's what I'm going to do when I leave from today. Forever and ever. I'm not going to just do it for 1 day or 2 days or for a week. I'm going to do it all the time. And there's one thing I do in my life which is not really good, whatever it is, I'm leaving that here at the camp. Fir apnu bakshish pranayam di hovegi. Like Shivnav changed, he changed everything. मैं तो थोनों यही बेनती करदा तुसी एक चीज दे कर लो. Take one thing in, leave one thing here. वो थोड़ी मर्जी है if you're really serious about your Sikhi and if you really want to make a change. And then the last three, one is called Dhyan, that is focus. ਜਦੋਂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਆਉਂਦਾ, if we understand the meanings, focus on the meanings. If we don't understand the meanings, focus on the sound. With the Pichla group, we were discussing Nanak naam jahaj hai, chade se utre par. The naam, the sound is like a jahaj and we sit on it. That's why Maharaj says, sit your thoughts in Vahiguru's name, it all interlinks. So you sit on that sound current. That sound current of Naam reaches the Jyot. We say in this physical Asthul Srir, Vahiguru, that sound current, when we focus on it, will carry through all those Srirs, what I described, beyond all of those and reach the Jyot. And the more you practice it, you'll reach there constantly and you'll be able to sit there. So when you practice it, Dharna, if your mind wanders somewhere else, like my mind might be wandering about work, school, next week, I'm a teacher, I'm thinking about school, what do I need to do? Can I change any of that? No, because I'm stood here. Think about the present. Inner message to that is be in the present, in the current breath. Forget about the future, forget about the past. Past we can't change, future I can't change until I get to that point. So stay in the present. Practice what I've just said. If your mind wanders, bring it back. Then finally, Samad. Samad, when you practice that, like I said, and you sit on that sound current, it'll get you to Vaheguru and you will stay there. And you'll become one with Vaheguru. So in these last couple of days that I've been here and in the previous camp, if I've given you any knowledge, the knowledge is only a helper or an understanding. Really, it's bhakti. And if you forgot everything I asked you, so when you couldn't remember the tats and maya, it doesn't matter. As long as you do this change. Because the rest of it's a waste of time, what I told you about. Really, it's not going to take us anywhere. It'll give us a bit of understanding. This is what's going to take you somewhere. This is what Guru Nanak Sahib Ji gave to Shivnab. This is what Guru Nanak Sahib Ji is giving to all of us. So, for the last 10 minutes, they've come early. We're not early. We've still got about 10 minutes. But I'll let you go in 5 minutes. I'm going to give you the sheet. Okay? I've got some questions. Okay? So Bhai Sahib is going to give these out. And they're going to give you some pencils out. And I want you to spend 5 or 6 minutes by yourself, not with each other, Because, and you can answer these questions. So, Yam, list all your qualities, accept them as a blessing of Waheguru, and say, Waheguru di data ne, and Waheguru ji, Simartej Singh ji, unan ko thoda ja. We're going to list our qualities, and I want you to identify a time when you're going to go to the Gurdwara weekly or daily, and you are definitely going to do some seva. And the seva is going to be nishkam, where you are not going to ask for anything like passing your exams or anything like that. You're just going to do it for Waheguru's khushi and Waheguru's prapati. I want you to write that time down and be serious. This is like an action plan that you're going to go with. Main Gurdwara jaake seva karni. For 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour, once a week or once a day, whenever, you're going to write it down. Then name, identify a time when you're at the Gurdwara, when you're going to do Sat Sangat, like Guru Sahib ji said today. Sangat karniya. And I always tell you about minimum 6 minutes. If you can do more, that's even better. We 6 minutes ਘੱਟ ਤੋਂ ਘੱਟ ਸੰਗਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਕਥਾ ਜਾਂ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਸੁਣਨਾ ਹੀ ਸੁਣਨਾ ਤੇ ਜੇ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਫਿਰ ਕਥਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਘਰੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਪੜ੍ਹਨੀ ਆ okay then ikant des, list all your desires, what do you want, what's your urges, and then start crossing them off. What can you do without of these? Cross them off. Fair asan, identify a time separate to your nitnem, because Amritari nitnem karna hi karna. Separate to that, when you're going to do meditation on Waheguru's Naam. In your house, in the Gurdwara, when you're on your own, when you're by yourself. So ekta sangat ho gaya. That's that one. This is when you're by yourself and you're doing your personal time and meditating. Okay? When you're meditating. Okay? Identify that time. Then pranayam, what I've just talked about. What teachings have you learned here? To hold them in, kumbhak, is to prioritize them. Which ones are you going to do first? Hold them. I'm going to do these straight away after I leave the camp. And then rechak, what are you going to give up as you leave this retreat? That you're never ever going to do again for the rest of this life. Kuch mada karam. And then finally, the last three, dhyan, dharana and samad. That time that you wrote down that you're going to practice Simran, then you're going to do it. Minimum 6 minutes, 24 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours and a half, daswanda kaddo, or even more. When are you going to sit down and concentrate and do Waheguru Simran? First by speaking, whispering inside, and when your mind wanders, you bring it back to that sound current. And remember I said that sound current of Naam, Sabad Guru, Sort Toon, Chela, you're going to concentrate on that sound current of Naam, and that's what's going to take you to Waheguru's Jot. Now I haven't given you this for a joke, this is serious. If you're serious, and you make these changes like Shivnab did, he became one with God and got Brahm Gyan. I'm not saying we can do everything in one go. Start small. Like a baby doesn't run. A baby rolls, then crawls, then stands, then kind of limps along and walks, then runs as it grows older. In the same way, start small. If you can't give up 10 things, give up 1. If you can't sit for 1 hour, sit for 6 minutes. That's all I'm doing, beinti to you all. Keep one thing, give up one thing, sit for 6 minutes. Around that, go to the Gurdwara for 6 minutes every day, at least once. Really good at least twice, but at least once. Seva for 6 minutes. Once a day, if you're going to do once a week, maybe do 6 times 7, 42 minutes. I keep everything in 6 minutes. You kind of guessed that, Hannah? Because it's nice and short, it gets us going, then you start improving from everything from there. I'm saying minimum do that. Okay? Every day of your life from now, if you do that, everything will start increasing. And Maharaj Di Kirpana, like Shivnab got Brahm Gyan, we will. So like I said, this is the most important bit of me coming here. And it's not because I'm sharing this with you, it's because Guru Nanak Sahib Ji shared this with Shivnab. The rest of it, if you forgot about it, doesn't matter. So I'm going to give you a few more minutes while everybody else comes. You do that in silence, because I did say list your qualities. Listing qualities and understanding them is good, because it tells you when you do seva that you don't get ego over them. You understand that they're from Waheguru. Listing your urges is good, because when you cross them out, you know, I can do without this. Okay? Are there any questions? If there are, not now, and you want to do when we go to this hike, I think, or wherever we're going, okay, if you don't want to, we'll be available for doing vichar, and we'll just sit down in a group. I know some of the other people want to do that. We'll just do kulle vichar. You can teach me. If you want to put some questions in this box, you can do. If you want to ask me any questions now, you can do. If you want to do them individually, we can do that as well. Okay? This is serious if you want to make a difference. If you don't, we'll be back again next year. You guys will. I probably won't. And then everything will be all good. And we'll see each other for life, but only few of us will get to Vaheguru. Let's hope we all get to Vaheguru. I beg for forgiveness for any mistakes. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.